Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I had some folks ask me about hand tools and about sharpening tools, so that's kind of what I'm doing here today. So I thought I'd make a quick video, kind of show you guys what I use and a little bit how I use it. The thing with hand tools is most of them perform some type of cutting operation, so they have to be kept sharp. And I kind of like older hand tools. I mean, a lot of the newer stuff is fine, but a lot of the older stuff was kind of designed to be sharpened. That's why I kind of like some of the older hand tools. And my big guy right here, this is kind of my one-man crosscut saw. And I use this for processing wood. And I even made a little bit of a video to show how this guy works. But it's kind of the great-great-grandfather of the silky saw, I guess. But that saw's been kind of designed to be sharpened, so I can just take a small file and I can touch that guy up and make him work. And the thing with processing wood is even when I've been in really like urban areas and stuff, there's always, it seems like there's wood around. There's little brushy lots. There's just different things where you can kind of process wood. So I think you know, processing and cutting wood is kind of an important skill to have and tools to have for it. Another tool that I think is important is being able to drill a hole in something. So this is kind of my hand auger here. I've got a couple different hand augers and hand drills, but a hand drill to drill holes and stuff I think is kind of important too. So those are kind of my two big things, a good saw and a good hand auger or hand drill on top of like your knife and your axe and your hatchet and stuff. But getting into the sharpening stuff here, I'm going to tilt my phone down here just a little bit, kind of show you guys what I got here. The other thing is gardening. You know, all preppers talk about gardening, and most gardening requires hoeing. I've never seen a garden yet that didn't need hoeing, but it's good to know how to sharpen a hoe. And basically all you do is, if you got a bench, you got a vise here like what I got, you can take your file, and I talked about files a little bit in my Forgotten Preps video, kind of how important they are, and you just run this down the edge of your hole to get a sharp edge on it. And when you look at the edges kind of sideways, you'll be able to see when you're getting a decent edge on your hand tools, especially like this hole right here. And sometimes you need to change the angle on your stuff. Now, like this hatchet that I got right here, when I got this, it had a real, I guess, steep taper on the edge, and I didn't like that. I tried splitting a little bit of stuff with it, and it didn't work. So what I did is I locked this guy here in my vise, took my file, and I made the edge more tapered, so it's sharper, and I can get a better whack at stuff when I'm trying to split kindling or whatnot. That's kind of what I did to this guy right here. Like I said, I already mentioned files. I think it's a good idea to keep a couple different sizes of files around. I keep round files and triangle ones and little ones like this. This guy right here is what I would use to sharpen that big one-man crosscut saw that I got there. And then this is kind of the general purpose file. Real inexpensive. You can usually get them between $5 and $10 at most hardware stores or Walmart or whatnot. So that's kind of my file spiel. And the other thing is sharpening stones. I personally like diamond stones. Now, I'm no knife sharpening wizard. I just want to get an edge on stuff to use it. You know, there's guys, I've watched a lot of videos where guys are sharpening. They got a bunch of different operations that they use, but I kind of just keep it as simple as possible. But diamond stones are kind of my favorite. These are kind of my diamond stones I got here. I like this one in particular. You can sharpen fish hooks and stuff on it. But the thing with diamond stones is they wear out. This is another one that I got here. I carry small ones like this sometimes too. The thing with diamond stones is they're just like files. They're expendable and they wear out, so you got to have a couple of them on hand, because if you're using them constantly, you're gonna wear them out. So that's kind of my take on diamond stones. But these guys don't really wear out. This is a what they call an Arkansas stone, and this guy right here doesn't wear out. So When I tell people about sharpening stuff, I say I like diamond stones and I use diamond stones, but I always have one of these for a backup because I can still sharpen knives and stuff with this stone when those diamond stones are going to wear out. This guy doesn't wear out. I've had this guy here for years and I can still sharpen stuff on it good. I don't carry a stone in my get home bag, and there's a reason for that, and that's because my multi-tool has a file on it. And the two main tools that I would have with me when I'd be like, you know, trying to get home or spending an unexpected night or two in the woods are going to be my, you know, my heavy Gerber knife or one of my hatchets that I got. And if I need to touch either one of those up, this file will do that quite nicely. So that's kind of why I like these multi-tools that have a file on them. So that's why I don't really carry a stone in my bag. And I keep it real simple when I'm trying to sharpen stuff. I'm going to kind of show you real quick here just what I do. Some of the diamond stones will have both a fine and a coarse edge. And I actually start with the coarse edge and then work to the fine edge. And then all I do is I take my knife and I run it down. There's kind of a sweet spot at the angle of the knife. I know there's a specific angle that people use and stuff, but for me, I just kind of hit that sweet spot. I can kind of feel where that edge sits on that stone, and then I draw it down the length of the stone. Then, this is kind of the important part, I flip this knife over and I repeat the same step coming toward me on that same angle, and I just go back and forth. One way and then the other, because you don't want to go too many strokes on one side because you're going to change where the edge is on your knife, and you want the edge to be in the center of your knife blade. So this is kind of how I go about sharpening my fixed blade knives, just back and forth like that. And after I've got my edge on kind of the way I want it, I'm going to flip this over to the fine side then, and I'm going to do the same thing to kind of smooth out my edge, just like so. And it's the same thing with an Arkansas stone. If I was using my Arkansas stone, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to lay it on there. I'm going to kind of find that sweet spot where that angle, where the knife sits, kind of, it's tilted up a little bit, but you can kind of feel where it's making the most contact with the stone. And I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to run it back and forth on the stone. Now, an Arkansas stone cuts a little bit differently than a diamond stone. A diamond stone is a lot quicker than what one of these guys are, so just keep that in mind, that you're going to take a little bit more time when you're using a Arkansas stone compared to a diamond stone. And like the serrations on this here, to touch these serrations up, I mean, there's round files that you can set in these serrations here to touch up this edge. But I find this back edge right here, if you just run this back edge along your diamond stone, you're actually going to kind of touch this up a little bit. It's not going to make it perfectly sharp, brand new sharp, but it's going to touch it up enough that it's going to kind of improve it. And all you do with that is you just kind of lay it with the serrated edge up, and then you just kind of make a couple of strokes down on the back side, and you can see I've done that here on this knife different times already, and that just kind of takes any burrs or anything that's off the edge of that there, and is going to keep it a little bit sharper than what it was originally. And one other thing with kitchen knives, I pretty much sharpen kitchen knives the same way I sharpen my field knives, either on the diamond stone or the Arkansas stone. Same way, you know, one stroke one way, one stroke another way to keep the edge on it. But this is another kind of trick. I mean, I have steels. I don't have one of those out here, but a steel, you know, where you'll see the guys running the knife down the kind of the metal rod. That's what a steel is. But kind of the old timers, they used to use a crock. Most old timers would have a crock in their kitchen, and what they would do is, before they used a knife like this one right here, whether it was a butcher knife or a paring knife or whatever, they would take that and they would run that down the edge of the crock. to touch that edge up. So it's kind of like, I guess, what using a steel is. But I've seen many an old timer around me take the crock in their kitchen and run a knife over it just like this to get it ready to use. And I'm going to show you here. You can kind of see it took metal off. So kind of see that there. It actually took metal off. So it touched this edge up enough so I can use this for whatever I need it for. But that's just kind of my real quick video on sharpening and some of the things I use on my tools. Like I said, I don't have any real fancy way that I kind of go about doing this stuff. I just kind of keep it as simple as possible, and I know there's a bunch of different ways to sharpen knives, and I'm probably doing it the most barbaric way, but it keeps stuff sharp for me, and that's all I needed to do. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to shoot this video here and show folks how I keep an edge on some of my tools. But just want to say thank you to all my subscribers out there. I hope you guys are getting a little information, a little entertainment from my videos, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. You guys have a great day.